the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFOs, stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to creepy culture,
Where the unknown comes alive.
Hey, welcome to Creepy Culture and my very first live video. Thank you so much for being here. And tonight I have Monster Mike. He is the founder of Monsters Unleashed, which I co-host every Saturday night live. I talk to Mike all the time, but tonight I get to hear about his story and learn more about him personally. And I'm excited for that. And he told me to tell you guys he's crazy. So anyway, also I wanted to give a shout out to a podcast called Just in Time. Thank you so much for sharing me and shouting me out. He's on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. He might be other places, but that's where I know he's at. And it's spelled with a G, like Gustin, time, Time. So go check him out. He's got a really great podcast. And also, I wanted to say hello to Matt. So hi, Matt. How are you? You can tell me how you are in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Mike out. So let me do that. Mike, come on out. Mike. Why are you messing with me?
I was in another section of the thing, and it took me a minute there.
Okay.
How's it going, Jen?
All right. How are you?
I'm tired. You know what? I did some driving today.
Did you?
I did some driving today, yeah, from Wake Forest, North Carolina, up to Roanoke.
Oh.
Had to visit 12 stores up there, delivering salt so they could keep their sidewalks clear and stuff. And that's normally something I don't do, but, people forgot to order salt, and the company picked up on it.
Do you have snow?
We're going to get really tore up with snow this weekend here. Well, look who's in chat. Look at here.
I forget how to open the chat.
Swamp Dog.
How are you, buddy?
Yeah. Hey, Swamp Dog. Welcome aboard here. Looks like right now we have 7 viewers. They keep picking up. Everybody, I'm Monster Mike. You missed the intro and everything. Jennifer was awesome with it. She's still learning.
Learning.
Yeah, she's still learning, but you know what? She's doing great. She's really doing great, and I'm really proud of her and everything. She went from screen capturing on her cell phone to put out her videos, which was doing good for her. But now she's producing her own show.
I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay. It's okay, Jen. Hey, give her a round of applause because, Jen, you're getting there, honey. You're really getting there. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And thank you for all your help because that's, well, you guys, you and Trish helping me, and Swamp's helped me, Dano's helped me, Ash has helped me, Mojo's helped me. All kinds of people's try to help me. So
you got a good support system. Got a good support system. And yeah, we're really proud of you, girl. You're doing great. You're doing great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Swamp. She is doing great. But so what are we going to talk about tonight, Jen?
I want to know about Monster Mike because I talk to you all the time, but I don't know your story. I know where you work, but I don't know your story. What got you into all this, doing Monsters Unleashed and, out researching and stuff. So I want to know that.
Well, my story's kind of a sad story, Jen. I went from my whole life, I've lived around death and despair my whole life. I mean, honestly, as a child, when I was 9 years old, I lost my father. I had to take care of my dying father. He passed. He died of stage 4 colon cancer. But while he was sick, you know how people get when they're with cancer and when it starts getting bad and stuff.
I do. It's bad.
Plus I had a grandmother that lived at our house, and she was invalid. She couldn't take care of herself or anything. Then I had a baby brother that lived at my house. So I had my dying father, my dying grandmother, and my 4-year-old brother. And I was 9 years old, and I took care of all of them. And I did things that a child should never had to have done, but I did it, And like when my father got to the point that he had to go to the hospital, they not only had to take him, they had to take my grandmother too, because no one else was there, and she was, she wouldn't survive. They couldn't leave the children there. So my sister was called, and they took us to her house. And this was on December the 6th, 1984. The night of the 7th, I had a dream. And it was a very vivid dream, in color too. The dream was totally in color. And my father died.
Oh.
The next morning, my uncle came to my sister's house because he had got notified that my father had passed and stuff like that. And then they notified my mother, and he came to my sister's house to get us and to tell my sister. And as soon as he walked in the door, I said, I know Dad died. And it was really weird. And he just looks at me, and honestly, I knew at that point, I knew it was true. And I think I took the words from his mouth, what he was about to tell my sister. My sister starts crying and stuff. Well, anyways, he collected us and my mom. See, my dad had custody of me and my younger brother. My mom was kind of a wild person back in the day, but my mom got us back, so she was shacked up with this guy, and she moved us down to a little town called Thurman, West Virginia. And it's a little cold town. Well, we lived up on the dirt road, and it was 5 miles to one neighbor one way and 7 miles to the neighbor the other way. Tricia can tell you where I come from. I lived in this little house on a dirt road. I had nothing but mountains to the front of me and a river behind me. And then we found out pretty quick that this guy wasn't going to be good to us. This guy gave us regular beatings just for nothing.
Oh, no.
Well, the thing about it is, the house we moved into, Jen, my backyard was a cemetery, an old cemetery. And then if you went across the railroad tracks to go to the river, you had to go through another cemetery. I played in these cemeteries, okay? Like normal 9-year-old little boy, I had me Matchbox cars and stuff, and I'd go out there and I just played in the cemetery, and I built little roads and all that stuff, played on the headstones and every damn thing,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surrounded by death. Graveyard. Tricia said in the chat there, graveyards all around. Graveyards all around. It's something else to see. I actually have pictures of it, But anyway, so I played in these cemeteries and all that stuff, and I tried to stay out and away as much as I could, because my stepfather was an alcoholic. He drank really bad, and he would take these spells where he'd beat on us and he'd beat on my mom, and and she just stuck in there with it until one night. And it was in the winter time. It was mid-December, I would say, mid-December. And it had gotten pretty late. It was around 10:30, something like that. Everybody, all the other kids, his boy and my younger brother and everybody was in bed. And we shared, all of us boys, we shared one room. There were 2 big beds in this room, and we just shared this one room. It was only a little 2-bedroom house, and the rooms were small. But everybody was in bed except me. My mom had made beans and cornbread that day, and she heated me up a piece of cornbread, and I was sitting at the table, eating my cornbread, and I was watching my stepfather. He's drunk, and he was
Yeah.
drinking wild turkey. When
Oh.
he'd buy his liquor, he didn't buy like a pint or anything like that. He bought like a gallon at a time.
Damn.
And yeah, he was hardcore. But see, it was wintertime, and we heated our house by wood and coal. And we had this 100-pound warm morning stove in the living room, and this stove was cylindrical, and it stood upright, and you loaded it from the top, and it stood about close to 4 foot off the floor, you know, from the top of it. It was very heavy. He's in there, he's listening to the radio, and I'll never forget the song. I mean, it's in my head, and I keep telling this every time I tell this story. I'll never forget the song, because what happened, the song stuck to me, and it was Kenny Loggins' Footloose. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's around the time that the movie was out, and it was very popular and stuff like that. And that was like his song. When he's drunk, he's wanting to jam the Footloose. You know, when you drink a little bit and you party and everything. So nobody ever said anything to him, because at least he was happy at that time and he wasn't slapping around on somebody.
Right.
But anyway, so he's there, and he's stomping his foot on the floor to this song and stuff. And I'm sitting there at the table eating a piece of cornbread. I'm a little fat kid sitting there eating a piece of cornbread. And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, what an idiot, you know, just what an idiot. And he's stomping and everything, and just, Jen, all of a sudden, boom, something hit from under the house. And I seen it. It knocked that coal stove about 6 inches off of the floor.
Lord.
Now, mind you, that coal stove probably weighed close to 350, something like that, with the coal and stuff that was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit, and it knocked it up off the floor. Scared the living shit out of all of us. Okay.
I bet.
It shook the whole house. And my mom's like, go and wake up your brother, my stepbrother. So he was like 17. So I go to our room to get him up, and I'm there, and I'm like, wake up, wake up. I'm shaking him. And all of a sudden we heard another loud crash, and it kind of shook the house too. Okay. So at that point, when that happened, he just stood up out of the bed, because that happened under our room. Okay. Well, the thing about it is, under our room was the crawl space door. And it was about 4 foot off the ground, big old door made out of 2x8s that my father-in-law had. My father-in-law underpinned the whole house with 2x8s that he got when they tore down the bridge in Thurman. All the wood planks that was on that, he just hauled them up there, and he was nailing these things up around underneath of the house. And he made this big door. It was about 4 foot by 4 foot. And that door, I had went out earlier that night to get wood from underneath of the house, because we stored our firewood under the house. And that door, when I come out, I had an armload of wood, and I didn't shut it all the way. I just took my foot and kind of pushed it closed and didn't latch it or anything. Well, we heard that loud crash, and stuff. So he gets up and he goes in there, and my mom says, y'all need to go outside and look and see what that was, So he gets my stepdad's shotgun. And I've got this little flashlight. It's not much bigger than a mouse, and I'm holding this little flashlight. And we come out the front door, and we come walking around the house. Well, as we got to the back side of the house, I said, oh my God. And he's like, what? I said, look, out in the middle of the yard was our crawl space door, laying out in the middle of the yard.
Holy crap.
And so we went over there to the bottom of the house, and I'm trying to peek up underneath that flashlight. And it was a little ever-ready flashlight. It held 2 AA batteries. It wasn't very bright at all. And I'm shining up underneath of there, and he's like, go on underneath of there, see if you see anything. And I looked at him. I said, the hell if I will. I said, if you want to go underneath of there, here's the flashlight. I got a hand flashlight. He said, no, I ain't going under there. I said, I ain't either. I'm going back in the house. So we go in the house, and took a while for everybody to settle down. We didn't hear anything else. So we went to bed. Next morning, I got up. I was the first one up. Well, other than my mom. My mom got up, and we had a wood stove in our kitchen, wood cooking stove, and she'd make our breakfast in the wintertime on that stove and help heat the house up. But so we go in there. My first thing my mom says, go in the living room, look at that floor. Now, mind you, I'm at this time, I'm probably 10, 11 years old, something like that, you know. So I walk in there and I look, and you can plainly see underneath of the stove right there, the floorboards are just bowed up. It had busted the floorboards of the house from under that stove and stuff. It had hit with that such force. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you know, I don't know what to say. My stepdad, he don't know what to say either, because he was so drunk that night, he didn't even really know what was going on. And the next morning, we explained to him, you know, what had happened and all that stuff, and told him about the crawl space door laying out in the middle of the yard and everything. He's like, oh my God, what was this, you know? And so that's when it all really began. We don't know what that was, but I tell you what, there was nobody got slapped that night. Nobody got beat on that night. It was just too much, which was fine with me.
Right.
But that's when it all began, Jen. We started getting rocks placed outside of our house. And these rocks were there was always 3 rocks. And they were always placed out in the yard right across from us boys' bedroom. Okay. So say if you was looking out one of our bedroom windows, you could look there on the ground and see the rocks. And we would move them, and the rocks would get put back. And my stepdad would get pissed off because he'd hit him with the lawnmower. And next thing you know, it was normally me. I was getting a whipping over him because he blamed me for putting them out in the yard. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to put these rocks out in the yard, especially if I'm going to get a whipping for them being out there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, he'd make us go move the rocks and stuff. Well, one day, I wasn't home, and he went out there and he grabbed those rocks and he chucked them out over the road, you know, across the road, chucked them over there. And that night, I'd come back home. That night, we didn't get no sleep whatsoever. Something was smacking the house. I mean, smacking the house. And they would hit it in one side. You'd run to that window to see if you could see anything. And then by the time you got to the window, it was smacking the other side of the house. All night long, Jen. All night long, this thing smacked the house. You couldn't get no sleep. You're scared shitless. Okay? And it was so surreal. I mean, for a kid, and I went through all, and it was terrorizing. I mean, it was terrifying. It was bad. And like down in the holler, you don't call police. You normally handle shit yourself, you know. And plus the cops didn't even really want to come down there unless somebody done killed somebody or something, you know.
Yeah.
But so that happened that night. Well, the next day we get up and there's more rocks out in the yard.
Oh no.
Finally, you know, when we was able to fall asleep after things had really calmed down, the rocks were back out in the yard again. Hey, your chat's popping off. That's a good deal. Chat's doing good.
Ash just jumped in here.
Oh, did he? Hey, Mr. Ash, how are you? But anyways, so these rocks became like a permanent fixture in our yard. All right. We just got to where we cut around them. We didn't move them anymore because if you messed with the rocks, you got activity at the house. Shit would happen. If you got rid of the rocks at this point, it just got bad. Things slapping on the house. We actually had something physically shake the house one night. See, our house set up on pylons, like railroad tie pylons. It was an old coal company house, you know, and they wasn't made of much anyways. But the whole house got shook one night, scared the living crap out of us. And, you know, we didn't have running water. We had an outside toilet. Okay. So we learned really quick, if you had to go to the bathroom, you went to the bathroom before dark because you wasn't going out there after dark. So later on, you know, I started hunting when I was around 10 years old, 11 years old. And, you know, I'm from a different era. This is time when they just give you a gun and you went out in the woods and went hunting. They didn't care. I mean, you got a 10-year-old kid, never had no hunter safety course. You just went out in the woods and you shot something, you know, squirrel, coon, didn't matter. And so I started hunting then, but when I was about 15, I went up into this one holler, Buffalo Hollow. It was up above my house about 3 miles. Well, I had to walk every bit of that to go up there to go hunting. And I had an old 30-30 rifle. And so I got up really early one morning, about 3 a.m., and started walking up there. Well, when I got there, it was still dark. And I started walking up in that holler. And like when you're going in up that trail, you can see the top of the ridges. And, you know, like in the woods at early morning and stuff, you see the top of the ridges, you can see like silhouettes of everything on top of the ridge. Okay. So I'm watching the top of the ridges and stuff and watching where I'm going. I didn't even have a flashlight. I just was walking up in there because I knew those woods like the back of my hand. And I'm watching and something caught my attention. I seen something moving on the top of that ridge line. And at first I thought it was a bear, but it was walking like a man. So then I thought, well, it's somebody else up in there, you know, hunting. And then as I just stopped and I watched, and it jumped in behind a tree. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching about 10, 20 minutes, something like that went by. I seen it come from that tree in behind another tree. It's like, I never seen it peek around trees or anything like that because it was a pretty good ways up there, but you could see its silhouette. And it was like watching a puppet show, one of those silhouette puppet shows, you know? And it came from one tree and it jumped over in behind another, and it didn't walk over there. It kind of like leaped over there. So I made a permanent fixture of my ass in that ground at that point, and I just sat there with my back up against the tree because I didn't know what in the hell was going on. But I honestly believe that it was Sasquatch that had followed me going up there to watch me. And as I've talked to a lot of people seem to think that was a Sasquatch that hit the underneath of our house. Well, that door wasn't closed. It was cold, and it was underneath of our house. And where he was stomping on the floor, it decided it was going to hit back. It was bothering it, and it hit back, you know. And it hit with force that it knocked that stove up off the ground and cracked the floorboards. So that's what got me interested in Sasquatch. Now, to be honest with you, Jen, when I was young, if you said Bigfoot, I thought of the monster truck. I never really knew anything about Bigfoot until I started talking to people, and they were telling me, "Hey, I might have been a Bigfoot," you know. And then that's when it really scared me, because I knew at this point what they were, and everything. But I continued to hunt, and I didn't have that many encounters after that. But we still had activity around our house until I moved away. Honestly, it happened until I moved away. And when I went out on my own, I left when I was 15 years old. I'm sorry. I left when I was 16 years old. I just turned 16, and I left home. I said adios, and I left. I wasn't taking any more beatings and stuff. So I went out on my own, and then I met Trisha's mother when I was 18. I did from 16 to 18. I lived that teenage life like you would not believe. The drugs, oh my God. Drugs, alcohol, you know, just anything I could fucking do. And so I lived a wild teenage life, you know. Sleep wherever I could sleep. I didn't have a permanent home. I stayed with friends, strangers. It didn't matter where I was staying at. But when I met Trisha's mom, I settled down. And then I started hunting. Excuse me, I have to get a drink. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew here.
Me too.
But so I settled down. And oh, hello there, Todd Walker from Dayton.
Yeah.
So I settled down and everything, and I did my hunting, and I went back one time, back down to where I come from to go hunting, okay, because it was a great place to hunt. And I went down there, and like I went in early morning and stuff, and I was just hearing stuff. And it's like, I honestly believe that they knew I was there. So the moment I stepped into the woods, I believe that they knew I was there. And I was hearing all kinds of weird shit. And to be honest with you, I got spooked out of there and I left. But there was another thing that happened too. I forgot about it. So I'm out. I'm going to have to go back until I was around 13. Okay.
Mhm.
Behind our house was the New River. Okay. Because it runs all the way up through West Virginia. I believe it even goes up to all the way up to the Ohio River. Starts here in North Carolina, comes all the way up to the Ohio. Well, that was a popular fishing hole for us. It was called Pole Lantern. And when we would go there camping, me and my stepbrother, and we'd go there camping, we were poor kids. We didn't have no tent. We didn't have no lantern and none of that stuff. You know, most of the time, everything was done by the moonlight or campfire light. So we went down there. We was going to go fishing, spend the night, catch some catfish. So we would eat good, you know.
Mhm.
And so we got down there. We got camp set up. It got dark, and we slept. We would take a blanket, just a blanket, and we'd roll up like a burrito beside the fire at night, and that's how we slept, you know, under the stars. So we'd had our blankets and stuff. And then we would take a can of canned food. Didn't matter what it was. It'd be a can of corn. That's what our dinner was that night. We just opened up this can of canned food, whatever we was in the cabinet we could grab, and that's what we ate. So, I mean, you ain't lived until you've sat there and ate a can of green beans that just straight out of the damn can, you know.
Right.
But so that night we'd got our poles all throughout in the water. We put bells on our poles and stuff, you know, and set a rock on the bottom of them so the fish wouldn't take it. And we went back over to the campfire we were going to eat. And we heard something way back up in the holler, loud. And it was like a whooping noise, you know. Never heard that before. My brother said, "What the hell is that?" And I said, "I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that is." I thought it might have been some kind of owl or something like that. And so we're sitting there and we're eating, and it wasn't too long that we heard it again, and it was closer. It was a lot closer. So yeah, green bean sandwich.
Yes.
So we're sitting there and everything, and we're talking. We're sitting there talking. It was just two of us. We're sitting there talking, trying to figure out what in the hell that noise was because we'd never heard it. And you know, people scared us. The older people, they'd scare you, tell you there's Black Panthers in those woods and all this stuff, you know. And I told him, I said, "Do you think that was a panther?" And my brother's like, "No, I don't think it was a panther. I never heard no kind of panther like that, you know." And we're sitting there, and it was probably 30 minutes or so. I was honestly getting ready to get it to go and just check the poles and stuff, just make sure that a bell hadn't fell off of one or something. And all of a sudden, this thing lets off, and Jen, it's right in the woods right beside of us. Right in the woods. It's in the cemetery because we had to pass through the cemetery to get to the riverbank. Okay, which that never bothered us going through the cemetery. The cemeteries were our playgrounds. Like I said, we wasn't scared of the cemeteries. But this thing let off right there in the damn cemetery, right beside of us. And we never said another word. We just stood up and we run. And we didn't run. We didn't take the path that we'd come down there and there because that's where this damn thing was. We run straight down the riverbank. I don't know how we didn't fall and break a leg or anything with all the big rocks and stuff because we had run through the rock bar and all that. There was a path further down that went up, and it was really steep, and it would bring you up to the railroad tracks down below our house. So we run straight for that path, and we made it up. We got to the railroad tracks. We run down the railroad tracks and made it into the house. And the stepdad was drunk.
Oh, no.
And that wasn't going well with him. But he's like, "What are you doing home? You're supposed to be down there and all this stuff. I'm tired of y'all kids. I want a break." And, you know, all that shit. And we went to our room, you know, and shut the door. Well, at 6 a.m. the next morning, he come in there and he got us up. He's like, "I want y'all boys, get y'all's asses down there and get your fishing poles and all that stuff before somebody steals them." So that's what we did. We didn't want to go. because whatever that was, we didn't want to go. So we go down to the river, and we get down there to where our camp was and everything, and our camp was tore all to hell. I mean, there was just stuff scattered everywhere, canned foods, the blankets and stuff. My blanket was completely gone. My blanket wasn't there. We never found my blanket at all. And the funny thing of it is, Jen, our fishing poles were still there, but they were pulled up onto the bank, all of them laying up onto the bank, and they wasn't reeled in. It was like somebody pulled the lines in, and the lines, the bait and everything was laying up onto the bank.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah. Now, if that had been a person down there, they wouldn't have done that to our fishing poles. They'd have reeled those suckers in and they'd have stole them, you know.
Well, yeah.
And who in the hell would want an old blanket that was full of sand and leaves? You know. So that was the thing. Something just ripped our camp completely apart. You know what? We never camped down there again as kids.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, we left everything, Swamp Dog. We left it all, dude. We stood straight up. We were sitting on a rock. We had a little camp area. There was a little sandbar down there, and we got some big rocks and rolled them over there, and that was our seats we'd sit around the campfire with. We just stood up from our rocks, and we ran like hell. We ran for our life because we didn't know what in the hell this was. As far as we know, it could have been a damn grizzly bear. We didn't know. But so it tore our camp all to hell. And as a child, I never camped there again. Now, I had been there one time since then as an adult. And Trisha knows. Trisha came down there and visited me when I was down there camping. And I was all alone down there by myself. But I never had anything happen that night. Nothing bothered me or anything, which I was prepared this time. You know, I had a big old damn shotgun with slugs. But I never had anything happen. So I had all that shit go on, and I kind of like never went back down there again. I just like that place didn't exist to me anymore. I didn't go back down there and everything. I was scared of those woods. But so fast forward through all these years, I hunted and all that stuff, and I never really seen sign of anything else. But my whole childhood was focused off of everything that had happened back then. You know, it was crazy, Jen. I mean, like it's like something out of a freaking movie, you know. And but once I left that area, nothing bothered me anymore until I moved to North Carolina. And I'd found me some hunting area down here, and I took my son with me, as you can hear talking in the background because he's very rude. But I took him with me, and we went into Perkins Game Land. We got in there early, and it probably was about around 10 o'clock. Me and him had worked our way around. We were we were way deep in there. We'd worked our way around, and we were setting up on this ridge where we could see this one ridge going down. It was a big open swag, and then on the other side of us there was a ridge top that come out through there. So we were in a good spot, and we're just sitting there being quiet, not talking anything, and all of a sudden you hear a big loud knock. It was one knock, big loud one. Wasn't no damn woodpecker, I can tell you that right now.
Right.
It sounded like a Louisville Slugger hit a home run at the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy looks at me, the same one that's back here talking right now that knows I'm live on the show that's being rude. He said, Dad, he says, was that a knock? And it really surprised me because we've never talked Bigfoot. Me and him had never talked Bigfoot. He was about 16 years old. And I said, son, it sounded like it was. I said, I'm not sure. So I got up, being dad, you know, protector. I got up and I walked over and walked all around looking around. And I never seen nothing at all. And we stayed there for a little bit. So we worked our way around. Well, as we're coming out to the road, this big buck, we were next to a high wall, you know, this big buck started coming off of that high wall straight down towards us. Okay. Now, mind you, we're standing there in the road. We're talking. We had already unloaded our rifles because, I'm trying to teach him safety. We're not carrying our guns loaded on the road. Even though we're still in the hunting area, we're not carrying our guns loaded on the road. And this deer comes down off of that. So being a hunter, Jen, you know that a deer's not going to come off of a high wall like that unless it's under some severe pressure. Okay. Now, could it have been a hunter? Yes, it could have been. The problem with that is there was nobody else there. When we come in, there were no other cars there or anything. Now, mind you, I know there was no one else there because when we come out, our car was the only one out there. But this deer had come down straight towards us. And once it seen us, it about broke its neck to try to get back up that hill. And it did make it before we could get our rifles loaded, because I was going to shoot this damn deer. Before we get our rifles loaded, it did make it back up, but it shot straight over horizontal from us, shot straight back in that way. It didn't go back the way it come. Now normally, if it was going to do that, it would run straight back into the woods. When it got to the top, it'd run straight back in. But this deer knew better. Something else was up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we seen that, and that was the whole thing. We were talking about it for a good 30 minutes about this buck that we lost out on and all this stuff. And then it come to me about how it all had happened. And I'm like, there's something weird about that, So we walked down the road a little bit, and I realized that ridge that deer had went out on, we could get into it in another way and maybe cut it off, maybe get a glance of it or something. We'd get a shot on it. So me and him, we walked down through there, and we found us a place to set up. I found him a stump to set on, and I set him there, and I walked about 60 yards up the trail from him, and I found me a spot, and I set up. We hadn't sat there 10 minutes, Jen, and we heard this noise, and it was unlike anything I'd ever heard before. It was this loud, primordial moan, growl, howl, whatever. I couldn't reproduce it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard anything like that. It's like something you'd hear off of a fucking dinosaur movie or something, coming out of the woods, and it's probably 150 yards out in front of me. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this thing, and I'm we've got radios, I'm talking to Michael. I'm like, are you hearing this? And he's like, yeah. And it went on. It's like it didn't stop. It just kept doing it. And it's like it kept doing it. Well, eventually, down by where he was at, it fired off from down that way. Down by Michael. It was to the left of me at this point. Well, the thing of it is, that thing did it for a little bit, and then it started again up in front of me. And when it started going off over in behind to the right side of me, I'm like, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. So I talked to Mike on the radio, and I told him, I said, knock your safety off of your gun. I said, I'm coming out. I said, I'm going to walk straight down to you. I want you to come out to the trail and watch me. Watch my back. I said, I'll be watching yours. You watch mine. And that's how we got out of there. He would walk down, I'd watch his back, and then we would just do it vice versa. And we did it on a buddy system. We come out of there. We haven't been back there. We haven't been back there to hunt. Now, I want to go back there to do some investigating and stuff. Mm-hmm. Michael, my son Michael, he doesn't hunt with me anymore. He doesn't blame it. Like it. He doesn't hunt with me anymore. His ass is going to the LBL next week, though. I'm making him go.
Is he going?
He's going. I'm making him go. You hear that, didn't you, boy? Look, he ain't saying a word now. He ain't saying a word. Oh, no, he's talking. He's on the Xbox. But anyway, so he's going to the LBL. Next week, we're going in for another investigation, and we're going to be at the help me with the name of that place.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's about to change next week. Shit's about to change. Y'all not going to believe what we got. It's about to change. But we're going to be down there in Cadiz, Kentucky. They're having this big thing there at the Trisha. What's the name of that place again? I done forgot. My mind's not there. I mean, you seen the picture on the thumbnail, right?
Mhm.
Fucking crazy, you know. But anyways, we're going to this town hall meeting down there. It's at this distillery. It's going to be February the 7th. Yeah, Golden Pond. Yeah, Golden Pond Distillery thing there. And we're going there, and we're going to present some evidence. We're going to present some evidence that's going to change a lot of stuff, you know. And Trisha and her team, they got there, and it's, oh my God, guys, if you can get to the Golden Pond Distillery on February the 7th, you want to make sure you can get there, because what we've got is unbelievable. But anyways, we're going to do a lot of investigation too, and we hope to see you, Jim. We hope that you're able to come. I mean, I know you have a lot of stuff in life going on. Donna Copus is going to be there. They're going to have Martin Groves there. They're going to have Daryl Denton there. There's just going to be a lot of people there talking and stuff like that, and we're going to present what we have, and people are not going to forget what we show them. I can guarantee you that. Thank you, Ash. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got some good stuff. I mean, you know, we're going in there, and I know that this is your show, Jen. I'll show some of our pictures, though, since Ash believes that we got some of the best of them.
You really do show them, especially if you got Trisha's print that I love so much. Please show that. That's like the best print I've ever seen.
I think I do have it here. Let's see, Trisha. Yep, here we go.
That print. You guys, is that not the best Dogman track you've ever seen?
That thing was fucking huge.
It looks huge because you can see the little rocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is huge. I mean, we got some good stuff in there. I mean, you know, look at that. I know it's kind of grainy, guys, but it was shot from a good distance away. And what's the thing about it is, you see the conical shaped head there? And right up above it, if you look right up above it, there's another one. There were two of them walking through the woods there. Trisha and them got that. And they were trying to zoom in on it. But, you know, you can only do so much with a cell phone camera.
Right.
And, I mean, it's some stuff. But let's see here.
The railroad tracks.
Oh, yeah, the railroad tracks.
I love that Trisha got.
Trisha took this picture here in West Virginia. It was down by the railroad tracks. If guys, move in close to your screen and look at that thing. You can see its face. Its face. Yep. It's uglier than me.
Look how wide. Look how wide it is.
Yeah,
those are railroad tracks.
You look at the railroad ties. There's 4 railroad ties there. That's the spacing on it. Okay. That thing was over 4 foot wide. Now I had this photo analyzed, and this thing is setting. Okay, so they used the mathematical formula to gauge from the railroad tracks to determine how big this thing was, and it's setting. So if you think it's twice as tall as its setting height, okay, when it stands up. It was said to be between 8 to 9 foot tall. It said that this thing was around 4 foot 2 inches wide, and it said it weighed anywhere between 600 to 900 pounds. That's fucking big. That's really big. Let's see here. What else we got here? Well, I mean, you know what? You want to talk about shadow people?
Oof, I hate those things.
If you can see that center tree there and just follow that little tree up, you'll see Mr. Shadow Man there.
I see him.
Trisha's got a name for him. I don't remember what the name is. But
What is it, Trish?
look how far it is off the ground. And you can follow it down, the shadow of it and stuff, until the sun breaks it up. That's a shadow of something. Someone. Let's see here.
I got to ask you something while you're looking for pictures.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you think that probable Bigfoot, I don't know what else that could have been, that pushed your floor up or was stalking you or whatever, why did it keep leaving rocks in your yard, wonder?
Well, you know, people have told me that they believe this thing was our protector. Because, like, if we were outside and our stepfather, you know, I said things kept going on. If we were outside and our stepfather was screaming at us, or if we ever got hit or anything like that, we'd have shit go on that night at the house. They'd be the house slapping and all that stuff. And, so it become pretty evident if he did that. He heard us boys screaming about anything or something like that. There was always activity that night at the house. And it was some weird shit. And, you know, the thing of it is, we never talked about it to anyone. We were told not to tell anyone about it. You know, people would think we're crazy and all this stuff, you know. But
Right.
so we never talked about it. Not even the family, really. I mean, other parts of the family and stuff. It was kind of like our secret there. It was something that happened. It was scary as hell when it happened, but you know, we just had to let it go. Yeah, but
She called the shadow person Jonesy.
I believe it was a protector. I really do. And I believe that it left those rocks out by our window, us boys' window, to let us know that it was there. It was watching. I honestly believe that's what it was. Now that's stipulation, but that's the only answer that I have for that, to be completely honest. And if those rocks were moved, it pitched a damn fit about it. So we got to where those rocks, if you go down there right now, that old house in the woods, let me see here if I can pull up a picture. You just bear with me here.
Trisha asked, do you think it would have hurt you if you would have stayed at that camp?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think what it was pissed. And it might not have been our protector, but I think that it was pissed that we were there, and maybe we had interrupt. It was planning on going down there fishing, and we had already just interrupted it from its fishing hole. I'm trying to find the picture of my old house here.
Did you ever see it peeking in your windows? Did you ever catch it doing that?
I never did. Be honest with you, we never did. And I'll tell you what, our beds, when we went to bed, our bed wasn't, you couldn't see out the windows, and I was perfectly fine with that.
Absolutely.
I was perfectly fine with it. I thought I had a picture of my old house on here. It's probably my other drive, but I can show you some pictures here. Okay.
Maybe she said maybe that's where it was getting its food. That's probable too.
Yeah, maybe it was. I mean, like I said, that little area, there was a little eddy. There was some rapids there that come off the river. And then there was like a little eddy there with like a little cove that come back in. And it wasn't very deep. And maybe it was in there getting fish. But, you know, I talked about the graveyards I played in, right? Here's one of them. Here's one of them.
That's pretty cool.
And like all this whole right-hand side of the road here, that was my backyard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you follow this road down to the next little bend right there, our house set right there where those trees are now.
Oh, okay.
And the house is no longer there. It burnt down. You know, it's mysteriously burnt down. When my stepfather passed away, like that night, it was gone.
Huh.
It was just gone. But I don't know anything about that.
I don't know either.
There's the railroad tracks that I talked about. On the other side of those tracks was the river and stuff. And I mean, it was just nonstop stuff. Like let me see. This was right down below my house. If this picture, is it going to upload? There we go. It's uploading. Got a little delay there.
My friend's in here. Hi, Mel Mel.
Hello, Mel Mel. Okay. This was a sandbar right down below my house. Now, this was on the other side of the river from my house, but like where we fished at, it was just right upstream from this, okay? And it's a beautiful place. This place here, they call it Sandbar, Stonecliff Sandbar.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It really is. But I have a bunch of pictures of that area and stuff. All that stuff is in my books and everything. I don't know. We never mentioned that. You know,
go ahead and tell them. Tell them you're an author.
I'm an author. I have some books. I have some of my stories in them. You can find them all on Amazon. You have Echoes in the Hollows. Now, see, my books, like I switched the titles and the subtitles. So Echoes in the Hollows is the first book. It's called Echoes in the Hollows in the Shadows of These Mountains. Okay. Now, this book here is about my experience, what happened here in North Carolina. And it talks about other people's experiences down here in North Carolina and stuff. And then you have In the Shadows of These Mountains, Echoes in the Hollows is my second book. And this is about my experiences in West Virginia. As a kid growing up, it's got about a haunted house in it that we all seen stuff in. And that picture right there is a representation of that haunted house. Trisha knows about that house. That place fucking haunted. I'm telling you right now. Well, then I have my children's books, Sneaky Little Sasquatch. And he's a cool little dude. Stories are great. I wrote them. I dedicated the books to my youngest son, Isaac. And there's actually, I have a third one of these books that's going to be released very soon. And it's called Sneaky Little Sasquatch. And the, what's the name of it? I'd have to, anyways, it's another one where he finds a UFO in the woods and he plays with an alien. And at that time, my son was 9 years old and he co-authored the book with me. We sat down and we made up the story together and I typed it up and I'm working on the illustrations now. And then I'm going to get it published on Amazon, but it's a cute little book. They really are. Everybody loves them.
Adorable little Sasquatch.
But but yeah, look, we haven't showed Ed yet. Let's show your audience Ed.
Oh yeah.
That's the first dog man photo that we were able to get. And I know it's blurry. I said it's blurry, but this thing This thing was taken from a very long distance away, and we had to we zoomed the picture in as far as we could. We had to screenshot it and zoom it again, and that's why we get it pixelated.
You could see its snout and the ears. I'm sorry, I keep rubbing my face. I think I'm allergic to my cats.
Oh, it's just me. I have that effect on women. And then here's another one that we got. Now we presume this is also a dog man. For the simple fact is, it cannot be a bear. I've got to rule out a bear because those ears that are up there that are all flopped, a bear has rounded ears. Okay, those are pointed ears.
Mm-hmm.
And this was up in a tree, and it was taken. It was pretty far out there. It's in this picture. And if you see these 3 cedar trees here in front of you, if you look over to the right, there's a tree there with a Y in it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right at the base of the Y, if you just move over a little bit to the left, you'll see that big black dot back there. And that is this dog man. Mm. Now I presume that is a dog man. It didn't bark at me. Okay. It stood there watching. It was in the tree watching us.
Do they bark?
I don't know if they bark or not.
I've never heard anybody say they bark. They always hear them growling. Real awful sounding. I've never heard anybody say they bark.
And then another one of our members, Crystal, she got these pictures here.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
dead center of the screen, there's a hay bale back there, and you'll see something black standing up behind that. And I'm sorry I can't zoom these pictures in. You'll see something black back there in the background. Okay, and then you don't see it no more.
Yep. And them hay bales are tall, so you know that thing's like 8 foot.
Yeah, it was.
Because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm like as tall as a hay bale. I'm 5'3".
You see it standing back there, plain as day.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gone. It's not there no more. Now what was it? Sasquatch?
Looks like it.
I would probably say so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could have been Bones?
Hmm.
Think it could have been that Sasquatch right there? Bones? We named him Bones. This picture was taken in Martin Grove's attack site up in there. The damn thing was knocking in a tree 30 foot beside of me.
Is that the LBL?
This is in the LBL.
Okay.
In this photo right here, this is taken from my video where I was in there videoing. We caught it here, and the outline is here in the trees of it. Okay, that's the front of it. And this is the back of it. My wife was taking pictures. She was back up in the hollow, and she seen me walking down there in the bottom, and she's snapping pictures, and she got this one. Well, if you look center of the photo and you go up a little bit, you'll see that black spot in there. Well, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was there knocking in the tree 30 foot beside of me, scaring the living shit out of me. It's in our videos on Monsters Unleashed. It's in there.
Ain't it wild how they are so big and they can creep up on you quietly?
Yeah, quiet.
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 Mm.
But deer are the same way. The only time you ever hear deer in the woods really is if they're right there beside of you and it's all dry, and they're just lightly crunching and stuff. I mean, deer just normally, if you're just in the holler and there's deer walking up on the side of the ridge there, you never hear them. You never hear them. But you hear Sasquatch footprints too if they're close to you, if they're that really close to you.
Hi, James.
Because when we were in there on our 4th day and we went to Rushing Creek, we just knocked that video out there last week or week before last. Something appeared in the tree line. I saw Sasquatch walking there at Rushing Creek. I thought it was Trisha. And I seen it walking. I turned and I looked at her husband. I'm like, what is Trisha doing walking down there by herself? He's like, Trisha's not down there. She went down the road with Cindy, my wife. And I'm like, well, what was that? And we turn and look, and it's gone. So we run down there. Mark Roberts was with us. And Mark goes right up above me, and we're going in to the wood line. And Mark hears it like walking, going down over the other side. But it was so thick, you couldn't see in there. And then I paralleled it on the road. It come down. When it passed Trisha and my wife, Trisha got the odor from it. Stunk to high heavens. She said it was a sulfur metallic smell. That kind of left a taste in your mouth. She was popping Mentos like they were little 8 balls of crack. You know what I mean? She was chewing like hell. On the video you got her, she's like she's got a big old gobstopper in her jaw, chewing on it. She's trying to talk with him, and it was funny on the video, But she was pretty scared at that point. She actually said a prayer. It's on the video too, where she prayed about it. And I went down and met up with her, and she had noises on both sides of the road, like it had come down when we seen it from that ridge. I don't think it fully went down into that ridge. It come around and it crossed over the road. That's when Trisha smelled it. And it went down, and then it cut back over onto this other ridge. So when we got down there, we seen it again. And that video, if you watch our video, you'll see it. You'll see this little black speck here. You'll see it moving around in the woods right up above us. And me and Trisha are watching it. Like, did you see? I'm like, did you see it move? Did you see it move? And everything. And there's been a few people that's commented on it, on the video and stuff. And I thought it was pretty good. like I said, we're limited to the equipment we have. We have a lot better equipment now. So we went in there that day with our cell phones.
They're actively in the land between the lakes.
Yeah.
Trisha and her team, they go out almost every weekend researching down there, and they find stuff all the time. It's really good stuff too.
Yeah, see, I live like almost 9 hours away, so I can only come in every now and then, you know. So it's on Patricia and the rest of the team to go in there and find that stuff. Now, I'm trying to set up an operation here in North Carolina, and I'm actively seeking a partner. Someone that's in central North Carolina, someone that's available to go in with me within weekends, go into like the Yari National Forest, Medoc State Park. I mean, just different areas like that. Even go in down to the southern mountains and stuff, you know, in western North Carolina. I'm looking for someone. And if you're that someone and you're down to hang out and go and look for some Bigfoot, you email me, monsters.unleashed25@gmail.com. I'd be interested in talking to you because I need a partner in this area. But, I mean, you know, like I said, we're finding the stuff. We're finding the stuff and we're sharing our stuff, Jen. You know, that means a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of these other guys that do the same thing that we do, they find this evidence and they just sit on it. And they never show it. And some of these people I know have good evidence, but they don't show it. And we're putting it out there. If we find something that's significant, now mind you, Jen, and you know this to be true, these pictures, we just don't take these pictures and say, oh, well, this is some evidence, let's show it to them.
No, it gets debunked.
This gets debunked. This picture here, you got this picture right here. These guys went 4 times into that area to line that shot up, to get that shot as close as they could. These are 2 separate days, okay? This isn't the same day. These are 2 separate days. And this is pretty damn close to lining up the same shot, you know. And we debunk our stuff. When we got this photo right here, with this right here, we spent a whole day in there. And we had another investigator with us, Mark Roberts from Night Vision Paranormal. He went in there too. And we went in and took measurements. And we're you know, calibrating the height and all this stuff. I was taking photos, lining up my camera, looking at the picture on one phone and lining up my camera with the other phone to snap these pictures. And I don't have that picture uploaded, but I have this same pose right here without that dog man in that tree. It's not there. I mean, and if I need to dig that up and show it to anybody, I'm more than welcome to do it. You know, I'll show you at any time you want to look at our evidence, I'll show it to you. I'll show you the photos that it's not there too, because that's what's important. If you can take a picture of something being there, and you can say it's a dog man, Bigfoot, freaking dinosaur, whatever you want. The important thing is to have a picture of it not being there. Because you have to show that there was actually physically something there and there was physically nothing there. So, yeah, I mean, you know, that's what we do. We try to give solid evidence to our fans and show it on here when we're not having technical difficulties.
That's my sign. I'm so bad with it. I'm so technically challenged, so I'm so glad you help me all the time. But that's still my sign because I still have technical difficulties sometimes. Not today, though.
But this isn't all of our evidence. We have other stuff that we're slowly releasing out. We just want to make sure that it's fully debunked before we go sharing it with people and it be nothing. You know what I mean? We prove, like Tricia just says, we proved there was nothing else there to make that shadow.
Absolutely.
Or get everything, because, you know, um, it's really easy to take a picture and it be a pile of leaves or a bush or something like that, you know. So we have to go back and we have to do our due diligence to prove that it's real. Um, you know, I really wish that I had um, the technology to go in and get these pictures cleaned up and stuff. But I honestly do not like to mess with our photographs. I like to keep them we always keep the originals, and we can show you from the original picture what we have. We can show you the whole process of doing it to get what we got. And that's important too. I mean, you know, we try to make sure that the evidence stays untouched as much as we can. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, Jen, Monsters Unleashed is out there. We're getting our name out there. We're trying to, you know, make sure that our credibility stays intact, because we're not going to show you something, like I said, that we can't prove that, you know, that we couldn't recreate it and stuff like that, because that's important. We want to make Monsters Unleashed a household name. Everybody knows when you think about the Dog Man or the Bigfoot, you're gonna say, yeah, Monsters Unleashed had this, you know, and it's starting to happen. We're getting some shout outs, and if everybody's watching, everyone that shouted us out the past 3 days, we had Mondo that shouted us out on Gwendolyn Purcell's show. What'd you say that other feller's name was? I hadn't even ever met him.
Just in Time.
Just in Time. Just in Time just shouted us out tonight. Last night we had Night Vision Paranormal giving us a shout out. We had the boys from NCI giving us a shout out, and that means a lot to us. It really does. It makes us feel good, like we're doing our job. You know,
you guys do great research. I think it's great. You know,
it's
at least when you put something out, you know it's legit. It's not some bullshit.
We're not doing this for fame, and we're not doing this for the money and everything. Yeah, we just got partnered on our YouTube channel and stuff. That money doesn't really mean anything to us. If we ever make any of it, it's going straight back into Monsters Unleashed for equipment and stuff. I want to make sure my guys got some of the best stuff out there, top of the line stuff. And the only way we're going to do that is make money somewhere. I mean, none of us are rich, so we can't. I mean, what we've funded so far out of our pocket is kind of unbelievable. You know, I have spent several thousands of dollars on buying equipment, so I can have some decent stuff to take. Brand new drones, and I mean, you know, and stuff. These things $600-700 a piece. So, I mean, you know, we got to have the stuff. We can't go in there with calculators and take pictures with old ancient calculators and stuff. You know, got to have good equipment. So, thank you, Ash. I appreciate that. And that's Just in Time or Just in Time?
Just in Time. It's spelled with a G, but he says Just in Time. Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Hey, Swamp Dogs, I was thinking about putting some feet pictures on there.
Oh Lord, not feet.
I mean, I've had like some of those ingrown toenails cut out and stuff. So my big toe kind of looks kind of funky, but I think there's somebody out there for that too. I believe somebody would be into that. I get some feet pics, get Jen to send some feet pics, and I'll put them on mine. I'll act like they're my feet.
Nope, ain't happening. No.
I'm getting another Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, contact me.
Are you drinking Diet Dew? Because I am too. That's what's in my cup.
No, this is zero sugar. This is the, I think it's new. It's Tropical Citrus Punch Baja Cabo Citrus. Hey, it's good. It's really good. But it's zero. So I'm diabetic. I'm fat. Okay? I'm fat. I got diabetes and everything. I can't drink the regular Mountain Dew. It'll kill me, Jen.
I don't drink regular Dew either, and I don't have diabetes. I just drink Diet because I don't want to get diabetes.
Yeah.
And Diet's a chemical shitstorm, so I don't know what's worse. You know, all the chemicals they put in and stuff. I don't know. It's probably bad for you.
Trisha's like, okay, don't make this weird. Hey, this is my
Right.
damn show tonight, okay? This show's about me. Yeah, Mountain Dew causes kidney stones. Trisha should know that.
Bless her heart. I'm glad you feel better, Trisha. She's had a
Well,
time.
hello there. The new person. You got a new person here.
Hello. That's Christy.
Hello.
Her name's Christy.
Yeah, Christy.
Thank you for being here. Oh no, 4
Yeah.
shots a day. Gosh, Ash.
Yeah. Ash, it's rough, isn't it? Yeah. You know, my doctor had taken me off of the insulin, okay, because I was doing good. My A1C. Now I was on that one shot. What's it called? The popular.
I don't
You
know
know
what that stuff's called.
I was on the diabetes juice. But anyways, they changed me off of this one and they put me on Manjaro, and Manjaro was causing my face to break out in whelps and all that stuff. So I had to quit taking it. So they switched me back to the Ozempic is what I was on. They switched me back to the Ozempic, and when they did, they restarted me on the low dose, and now it's got my A1C all out of whack. And so now I'm having to take insulin again while I'm building up the level of the Ozempic so I can. Yeah, the Cartman shot. That's funny, Trisha. Trisha, you shouldn't have said anything. Now I'm going to really embarrass myself. Ozempic, yes, Ash. So I didn't know anything about these GL1 shots and all this stuff. I mean, honestly, I'm not up to date on all this medication. But one night they had South Park, and they had that episode, the Ozempic episode on South Park, and I'm watching this and I'm like, hey, I've heard of that stuff before. So the next day, I watched this whole episode. Next day, I'm on the phone with my doctor. And I'm like, hey, I heard about this Ozempic. Would I be a candidate for that? And he said, absolutely. I'll send you in a prescription now. And they started me on the Ozempic. And it really changed my life. It really did. But right now, it's got me all screwed up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like so many people are on these now, and it's helping a lot of people. A lot of people talk smack about it and stuff. I best not ever hear anybody in front of me making fun of somebody that's on Ozempic or something like that, because I know for a fact it's a cure for diabetes. It will cure your diabetes. It'll get you off the insulin if you take it the way you're supposed to. It did me. And my diabetes was really bad. I couldn't even chew a piece of gum without shooting my sugar to the ceiling. So
That's terrible.
Yeah, people sell Ozempic like it's dope. They really do. Yep, they'll sell it. I ain't selling mine. Yeah. Yeah, these people want the shots. They want to lose weight. You get some people. See, the problem of it is now, it's like most insurances won't just pay for it for weight loss or something like that unless you have a medical problem. I get mine because I have diabetes, and that's how I get mine. But if I didn't have diabetes, say if I was just pre-diabetic, they won't give it to you for that, and the insurance won't pay for it. So you got to have something going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does give some people bad side effects. But this episode ain't about Ozempic. It's about Monsters Unleashed and Monster Mike and all this stuff. Jen, do you got any more questions? Think.
I was trying to think. Well, I know a lot of stuff, so question, because I talk to you guys all the time. Yeah, so it's I was just sitting here thinking, does anybody in the chat have any questions? You could go ahead and tell where to find Monsters Unleashed at.
So we done started the whole Ozempic topic now.
Yep.
It's going on. We done ruined your chat. It's going to be about Ozempic. Every show that you do now is going to be about Ozempic.
Lord, it better not. Oh
no. You can find us. You can find us at Monsters_Unleashed on YouTube. It's Monsters.Unleashed on TikTok. We have a Facebook page. That's all linked. If you go to our YouTube channel, down at the bottom on our front page, you can find all the links for our social media. If you need to contact us, it's monsters.unleashed25@gmail.com. Send us an email. Make sure it's not something weird. We don't want the weird ones. Yeah, Bigfoot could cause you to be diabetic. They could. I mean, it's just hard to tell. We don't know. See, James, that's the thing. We just do not know what side effects is from being in front of a Sasquatch. I mean, hell, these things have been known to go invisible and
Man,
float around in little light orbs and everything. So you just don't know. I mean, you could get like asshole cancer or something like that from them. You just don't know.
Ash has got a question too. I'll pop it up
Okay.
here. Look, I popped it up there with my technically challenged ass. I popped it. Oh wait,
I appreciate that, James. I appreciate the follow. I really do. Make sure everybody's following Creepy Culture too, because that's why we're here. This show is for Creepy Culture. It's not Monsters Unleashed. If you want to check us, you find us Saturdays, every Saturday, 9:00 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
See, what do I think Bigfoot is? Flesh and blood? Absolutely flesh and blood. Absolutely flesh and blood. Do I think that it has special abilities? Absolutely, I think it has special abilities. Okay? I want you to think about this, okay? And I'm quoting this from another gentleman that I heard this from. If God could give a little eel that's a couple of foot long the ability to electrify itself from out of nothing and electrify itself enough to kill another person, then anything's possible. This is just a little eel. It's a little fish, around big as round as a soda can, and it can produce enough electricity to kill someone. Do you not think that it could be possible? Do I think Bigfoot are monsters? Now look, you're talking to Monster Mike, and I am the host of Monsters Unleashed, but I do not think Bigfoot is a monster. I don't believe that every Sasquatch is a violent creature. I do not believe that. I believe that the Native Americans lived in harmony at one time with these creatures, worked together with them. Now there's been a story that's been passed down to me. Yeah, there is that side effect right there that James is talking about. That is one. If you see a Sasquatch, that could be one of the side effects, a change of underwear, because they will scare the shit out of you.
Heart attack, something.
Yeah, I was listening to an Art Bell episode today while I was driving on YouTube, and he was talking with this guy that said that he shot and killed 2 Sasquatch. And this guy was there talking, and it's a really popular episode. But this guy's on there talking, and he said that these Sasquatch, he says their face is so much like a human face. He said the only thing that's really different, he says, is the mouth, and their eyes kind of recessed further back in, but they have a humanoid nose. And everything. He says, and they have human genitalia. The females have breasts like a female human. The males have the big old dangling hanging down. I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. They have their, the male genitalia. He witnessed this. He said when they buried these creatures, and he says that they were there, and the woman, the female, had female parts just like a human. And it's really weird. I believe that if you look at the Patterson Gimlin videos and you see Patty, that Sasquatch had breasts. I think they're very much like humans.
Now the dog man's, that's a different story.
Now, yeah, ask me if I believe that the dog man's a monster. Absolutely.
I don't believe it's flesh and blood either.
I believe that the dog man is demonic.
I do too.
I believe that it's an unnatural creature that stalks the woods.
Yeah, and tomorrow night, Swamp's going to be on Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, Swamp is.
Wait till you hear what happened with him and the dog man.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for that, Swamp. I can't wait for that. Make sure we'll send you the link a little early because I'd like to hang out with you a little bit before the show.
I've had him on my show too. I forget what episode he is, but he told about his dog man encounter and his.
Well, he ain't never even messaged me. I felt kind of left out. Never even messaged me or anything. Hey, look, I'm an ex biker. I was actually president of an MC at one point. And I mean, Swamp, we got a lot in common, brother. We really do. So I can't wait to talk to you. Yeah, with offspring, they do come kind of territorial, and that's a given, James. Like with any creature, honestly, any creature in the wild, even humans. Okay, if you've got a mama and she's got her baby with you, and you try to step in there, the mama bear going to come out on you. Mm-hmm. And it's like that. It's like that with bears. I mean, hell, it's like that with everything.
Ask my kids. Ask my kids about Mama Bear when somebody messes with my kids. That's humans, for real.
But well, Jen, it's been a good show.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
I talk totally too much. I could keep this going for 3 or 4 hours, but I kind of got to go pee. Diabetic, you pee a lot when you're diabetic. You can't help it, especially when your A1C's up.
I'm freezing because I'm sitting in the basement, and I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to my cats because my face has been itching off the whole time I've been down here. So
I told you I have that effect. I bet you the other women in chat right now are doing the same thing. This guy, there's something about him.
Or something else.
So you're in southern New Jersey. Yep, I've been up that way. But yeah, I mean, guys, we appreciate everybody that's been here tonight. That's for sure. Hey, you got 12 in your chat right now. That's pretty good.
I know. And this is my first little live. I'm so happy that everybody.
Hey, you know what? Look, everybody, give her a hand again. Miss Jen is amazing. Here, I'm going to talk you up again, Jen. You're an amazing lady, and Monsters Unleashed is blessed to have her on our team also, and stuff. Jen's got her own creepy culture. That's Jen. But on Saturday nights, she's Monsters Unleashed, Jen.
Yep.
So,
I appreciate it.
See what I'm talking about? I got Ash itching now.
Ash is itching? Oh, no.
Oh, Krista's from southern Louisiana. That's cool. I've been down to Louisiana. I loved it. But, yeah, see, look, you're getting the clap.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
I learn something new every day. Tell you what.
Yeah. So Jen, now how do you feel about? You've heard a little bit of my story. What got me started in the field, and then like Patricia got her Sasquatch photo in West Virginia in like 2020, 2021. I think it was around 2021. She got that photo, and like I said, I had all this stuff happen to me when I was younger, and then Trisha started experiencing these things, and like we got together and we're like, hey, let's start investigating these things, and it didn't take as long. We had Monsters Unleashed. We were showing what we were finding. We had to start up this channel because we wasn't going to sit on what we'd found.
Right.
So we started up Monsters Unleashed, and it's kind of like took off. I mean, for what we've got, I haven't even checked how many subscribers I have now. I mean, but we only been going since September, and we got 570, and there's only 83 videos on our channel. So, I mean, people are paying attention to us, and we're very thankful. we're very thankful for what we have. And we appreciate everybody that's followed us.
She got that picture in May of 2021. And
May of 2021. Okay.
it don't take much to turn you into a researcher, because I'll tell you what, every time I go strolling in the woods, I'm literally out there grounding myself and resetting my whole soul. And here I am running into stuff. And here I am about to go out tomorrow looking for tracks again.
Yeah. So see, Jim says that she's not a researcher, but she's on to something.
I am.
So be looking forward to it. Before long, she'll be having videos for you guys on her channel too. So,
Right.
yeah, and photos and stuff like that. So make sure that if you're watching this, even if you're watching the video after the live, make sure you give Jen a follow. Subscribe to her on YouTube here. Subscribe to her on her Facebook, and yeah, so you can stay up to date with everything.
Yep, I'm finding stuff on accident.
That's what happens. Most of your stuff comes on accident.
Mhm.
I mean, I say this. You've heard me say this. They don't stand up on a stage with box lights and everything, so you can take pictures of them. If you're going to get a photo, it's going to be a brief one, and it's probably going to be a blurry one.
Ohio is squatchy.
Mm-hmm.
My local area is squatchy. I kind of knew, but I don't know. I guess I was in denial about them being in my hiking spot.
The Journey. Who's this? Is this your daughter in here? The Journey?
That is my daughter. Hi, Destiny.
Hi, Destiny. You found her live on YouTube, didn't you?
That's my
great.
That's my mini Jenny. Oh, I ain't messing with nothing with 3 toes. I know what those are. I don't want to mess with any of them. And by the way, make sure you take a look at that video with Trisha that I sent you.
I'm going to.
She already found a couple things, but take a look at it after we get done or whenever you have time. Probably need tired.
I was looking here. Somewhere I've got a photo of a 3-toed thing.
What'd she call that? A gugly? What? How do you say that? Gugway?
I can't even hardly pronounce my name right now, girl.
Right.
I'm trying to look here. I don't have it on there. I do have the Dogman track though.
I love that track. That is like the best Dogman track ever.
Yeah. Guys, I
That's
think
amazing.
that picture does show it justice. It's huge.
Look how deep it is.
Those rocks around it.
Mhm.
But Jen, honey, I hate to cut you short. We've been going an hour and a half, but I got to go to the restroom. So
do I. You ain't cutting me short. I'm ready to go.
guys, I guess we're going to call it a video, and we appreciate everybody coming out. And
I appreciate you telling your stuff, Mike, because I didn't even know all that about you. So that's really cool.
I have a lot. Like I said, I could go on for hours, but I can't pee. I can't hold this pee anymore.
Me either.
Guys,
Play the outro.
We'll see you next week.
In the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFOs, stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to Creep.